You fiddle with that thing so often. I see that you like. Is it just always nearby?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess I always have the Pokeball nearby. I like to keep my hands busy.
Hello.
This is something that the audience doesn't know.
And welcome. My name's J.E., and with me today is my good old friend, Alexander Gonzalez.
Hello.
And please remember that we are not game devs. That was not a very good transition. I'll be honest. But hey, that's what we got.
You know, you don't, Jay, in the baseball game that is life, you don't always hit home runs.
I mean, that's certainly a way to look at it. But those are not the metaphors we are talking about today. Today, we are creating something new. Every week, We Are Not Game Devs will create a new, exciting video game idea that we have always wanted to play, but not have any knowledge or know-how to create the wonderful experience that are video games. Today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Devs' 115th IP. Let's begin with the basic concept. So,
it's a baseball game.
No, it's not a baseball
No,
game.
I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
It's
okay.
A take on Battle Royale. And
how many takes have we done? I guess we've done what? 2-3 takes on Battle Royale so far.
Well, most of them weren't even takes. Most of them were just straight up Battle Royales with interesting mechanics, you know.
All right, what do you got for me? Well, I'm interested.
This is slightly influenced by upcoming game Fall Guys, which I haven't played, so I actually don't know how similar this idea is going to be to it, but I will do my best to differentiate it from Fall Guys in a way where I know what Fall Guys is about. So imagine a Battle Royale game, maybe up to 60 players, maybe even up to 100 like traditional Battle Royale, but it's not a shooter. What it is a multi-stage race, right? And the idea is everyone starts at the beginning and then they move forward through this obstacle course is what I think the first round, I guess, is. And I think you have a time limit on each of these waves, and there's 3 waves total. And while you're running through this obstacle course, it's like, think Ultimate Warrior, Ninja Warrior, right? Where it's like or like an Uncharted jumping puzzle, right? Where it's like you're trying to get through like swinging axes and freaking
flames, maybe statues like shooting darts.
And on top of that, there's going to be pickups, and these are going to be like trap items. And I think there's going to be some combat with other players where you could use like, it's like a very limited use weapon that only has a couple uses before it goes away. We could keep it to like an Indiana Jones like feel where it's like blow darts and then maybe like a musket that only has like 2 rounds and then you have to throw it away. But I want the focus on the combat from PvP combat to be traps, where you could lay traps for other people. But the idea is you're combining skill of platforming, getting around this obstacle course, whilst also you could either try to get through the obstacle course and get to the end faster than everyone else, or you could wait and try to pick people off and lessen your competition in the future. So that's phase 1, is this obstacle course. Phase 2, I want to say, is like scaling a cliff. And this scaling the cliff thing is like taking the Assassin's Creed and specifically Ghost of Tsushima mechanics with a grappling hook, where you could like jump, throw a grappling hook, connect to something else, and then keep climbing, right? And during this climbing phase, this is where you could also lay traps. You could like make a grappling hook point like weak or something like that, and like hinder other players that way. And then the last part,
like damage, like holds and walls.
Yeah,
like you can damage those.
Right.
Okay.
And then when you fall, you could just use your grappling hook on another point while falling, and then you could start from somewhere further down below. Right. And that's the whole idea there. And if you saved like a musket from the obstacle course during the second phase, you could try to shoot people off, hanging off the cliff, right? And then when the third phase is a maze, and you have to get through this maze, and whoever gets like maybe to the end or the center or whatever it is wins the entire game, right? Whoever does it first is the idea. And so it's a multi-state. It's not really a battle royale where there's a continual storm chasing, but I think there's time limits for each section. And then if, like, let's say if someone makes it to the next section, like rock climbing, the obstacle course time limit goes down faster. You know what I mean? So you can't just like hang out and try to pick people off by killing multiple people. And I say also we should reward people who are trying to do PvP as well by giving them maybe like kill streaks or something like that, like special weapons for killing more people. You know what I mean? Because some people might just want to go straight through and get to the ending, right? Because that's the goal. But maybe there's like extra perks or benefits or weapons they get if you actually stick around to try and kill people or lay traps and stuff. And laying traps could be like something that takes a long time.
Yeah, so it sounds like it would be cool if the perks were also related to platforming. So if you killed people, you'd be able to and successfully kill them, you'd be able to platform better.
Oh yeah,
and
maybe
if you're able
it's
to
a
platform
thing.
better, you're in a better position to kill people.
Yeah.
So it all feeds into itself.
Maybe it could be like, yeah, the more kills you get, it unlocks certain traversal perks. Like maybe the grappling hook is a constant in the entirety of the obstacle course, and it just makes your grappling hook better the more kills you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe the level 1 grappling hook, all you could use it for is from swinging to object, and then like the second perk, maybe you could like grapple and then like, I don't know, maybe like save grapple or something, where if you fall off the obstacle course or off the rock cliff or like maybe some certain pitfalls, you could use an emergency grapple to grapple out and stuff like that. And then like break
one
maybe
grappling
like
save.
Yeah, or like break through walls or something, or like break at destructible object or something like that.
I like that. And then let's make it where if you get like 10 to 15 on a streak like that, then you can grapple onto other players.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
That'd be a really cool thing. And I mean, if someone would know, like if you see a grappling hook coming your way, dodge it.
And I like the idea. For some reason in my head, it's just not Indiana Jones theme, but you know what I mean. That like temple run,
that kind of platforming.
That, like,
there's traps, and usually we equate it to temples.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like a safari treasure hunt type of deal. I don't know how to explain that. Like,
yeah, it doesn't have to be themed that way. It could be, you know, Fortnite has futuristic traps, if you will, where they're made out of energy and they traditionally glow blue like future things do.
But I think it would be cool to give this game like a theme, you know, but it doesn't have to stick to that forest thing. Maybe like eventually that could be like the first map where it's like a jungle dungeon theme where you're trying to the maze at the end is like I don't know, like a Aztec.
Or what if you just make a bunch of different levels with different themes?
Exactly. And so that's like the first one where you're going through this jungle, right? Then you climb this rock face and then you get to like an Aztec temple or something, and then you like plunder the Aztec temple, and then whoever gets there first gets the treasure and they win, and that's battle royale, right? The second one we could do is like a desert theme where you're going through like this desert thing, and then at the end you go to like a pyramid, and then you go through the maze is like a pyramid style maze where you're doing like the spike traps and the arrow traps and like the beetle traps and stuff like that. Then another one we could do, I don't know,
what if we did one where it's based off of a millionaire who went crazy, almost like the Winchester house, where there's different obstacles and it's like bear traps and like, I guess, contemporary traps. You know what I'm talking about? Bear traps, line traps, stuff like that.
Kind of like in like, not like a forest, like a jungle, like the first map would have been, but it would be more like a
deciduous forest that you would find in North America.
And it would be kind of more like
and maybe he would have different stuff too, where like there would be different hazards like hunting dogs, like if you fell down into a certain river or
Yeah.
stuff like
I was
that.
gonna say water would play a lot more, like river stuff would play a bigger role in like specifically the obstacle course section. And maybe in these future maps, everything could be mixed match. The maze is always the end, I want to
Yeah.
say, but
And you could maybe we could do something else where maybe it's a river maze where there's like white water rafting, and then you're actually in a raft while attacking other people.
oh, that'd be crazy. But then the weapons would be completely different in that one. You know what I mean? Like I want the weapons to be not one time use, but like
But
one
we
to
could have
three
maybe
time
different
use.
weapons, like instead of like a musket, maybe that's a spear gun.
Right. Like a harpoon or
And that's
something.
yeah, or harpoon. So that it still only has maybe 2 shots, 1 shot in it. So it's not too different, but it's along the same lines, maybe feels a little bit different.
How about the maze for that specific one where you're at like the log cabin? Could be the name of the map, right?
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
And the log cabin is like in the middle of the bayou or whatever, you know what I mean? And then you have to like go through like it's instead of white river rafting, it's more like canoes, and you go through like little like swamps, and you have to go through like different things. And then before the swamp bit, maybe it's you have to climb down instead of climbing up. It's first person down.
Yeah.
And obviously there'd be different mechanics because one would think you would just grapple, you just jump from the top of this cliff and then grapple once near the bottom, right? But maybe we can make it something mechanically where you just can't do that in this one.
There's tree canopies. So there's like different branches with trees sticking out so you can't see down.
Right.
So you have to go that way.
Yeah, and stuff like that. What do you think of a PvE aspect to this as well? Where like in the pyramid, there's mummy enemies that you could run into. In the swamp area, there's like crocodiles you could run into, or in
If
the
we
desert.
I don't Yeah, it'd have to be more survival based. Only because we're not really giving them a whole lot of ammo.
Yeah.
You know, every kill's supposed to be more meaningful, which makes me think that the player count's going to be lower, maybe like 50 people. Because how are you going to mow down, close to 20 people if you only have a musket? But I would like there to be a PvE aspect, as in maybe these enemies you can't kill many of them. You can maybe distract them or kill one of them as you move along. Maybe get to mostly avoid them.
What do you think about this? This is something that Apex does, where there is on every map, there's like, for this one, it would be a little bit different than Apex, where in Apex it's just one area of the map. But in here, maybe there's 4 different locations on this map. And I don't think these are going to be randomly generated or procedurally generated. These maps are the maps. And if you play enough, you can go through that maze, no problem. But then at that game, the game isn't going through the maze. The game is looking for traps and finding best ways through. And then people who are really experienced know the best way through the maze. And so that area would be heavily trapped at that point, at that advanced level of play. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, what am I talking about? What were we talking about before that?
We were talking about the PvE enemies and how to deal with them.
So throughout the map, maybe there's in the pyramid the mummy that if you fight and get past, you could get a weapon that is like super superior. You know what I mean? That's where the legendary items are. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a weapon. It could be a traversal thing, like maybe for the
like a parachute or maybe a boost, like a double jump, you have boots that
something like that, or like in the rainforest level, it could be like a machete, so you could just chop through certain parts of the maze. You know what I mean? Like you don't even have to like stuff like these weapons are maybe map specific weapons where maybe this is more randomized.
Like that one where I told you there's tree canopies in your way from jumping down. Maybe you could jump, chop with the machete, and go further.
Exactly. Yeah, like make your own path forward. Like what I'm thinking maybe is we could do it kind of like how the vaults are done.
Or you could even
Apex.
have legendary weapons, like maybe a legendary trap that you can set up too. So you can set up traps for other players.
And so what I'm thinking is maybe, so we'll have the first map, and then we'll have different maps that come out afterwards. Or maybe we could just have a whole bunch of maps at the beginning and then like go it that way. But I feel like these games work better when you release one map and then the next map and the next map. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially if we could talk about pricing later, of course, but it's probably going to be free to play with a battle pass and all that stuff. But how I imagine this boss mechanic works is on the map. For each map, there are always 5 bosses that are specific to that map that guard 5 items, whether they be traps, weapons, even armor, right? Defense or traversal items. But only 3 spawn per on each run, and you don't know which 3 those are going to be. You know what I mean? So maybe you are playing and you know the mummy spawns there. You get there and then you notice there is no mummy. And so you're like, oh, this run, the mummy didn't spawn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so maybe I'll go check out the giant spider section and the giant spider is there. You know what I mean? So they're always at the same spot, but you don't know if that run is going to have it or not. And then maybe you could find, there's like a item that you could find in chest somewhere maybe, and it like has a map and that'll tell you, oh, one of the treasures are on this map, but you don't know if once you get there, you don't know if it's going to be taken or not. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, I imagine it to be, like I said, 3 stages. And so I imagine each round to last anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes. So you get like 7 to 8 minutes per stage, depending on how fast they get through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only problem I can see running into is if someone were really good and they just went straight for the end, and multiple people did this, and for some reason they're near the end and they don't want to fight each other because they're just trying to get to the end type of thing. Maybe there's like a 10-second buffer where if you get to the end and in that 10 seconds someone else makes it there, there's like a gulag situation from Warzone where it's like a free-for-all battle at the very end.
Isn't it a free-for-all battle all the way through though?
It is, but I feel like I can imagine, you know how in like any race, if you're at the finish line, you see 2 other people competing and you're allowed to fight each other. I feel like for the most part, most people are just going to try and book it to the end and they won't even bother fighting. You know what I mean? And if there are 3
I'd
people,
say that's until there's someone ahead. Once there's someone ahead, the person behind has all the more reason and incentive to shoot the person in their back.
Yeah.
With any weapon. And then the person ahead, once they get a superior weapon, will want to turn around and kill that person behind them.
I just thought of this. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. But what if... Yeah, that could happen. Totally. Let's say there's 5 people running towards the end, and then some people will choose to stay back to fight off, and some people take that opportunity to run, but that makes them an easy target to get killed off. What if there is officially 3 slot winners that can get to the end, and if you get to the end and you're in the top 3, this thing shields you, and then you're safe. That means you're in the top 3. If you make it to the top 3, there could be 1, there could be 2, there could be 3. That's where there is like a death match situation where you start off with basic weapons and it's just like a fight to the death type of thing. I don't know if that makes the ending seem too random.
I think it would be better if the gulag thing was proposed in, like, let's say if there are players who are really fast and make it to the end, and the other players who got left out because they couldn't make it within the time limit, I think they should go into a gulag and fight to go to the next round.
Oh, like all the losers of the first stage, if they fight in the gulag, they get to spawn in
on phase 2,
phase 2 on like a timer or something.
Yeah, exactly. That way, even if they don't make it to the end, but they're really good at fighting, there could still be an underdog situation where they make it.
And then maybe we'll have that for each stage, and then
yeah.
Maybe we could even so okay, I get how this is gonna work. So it's still gonna be the original plan where there's only one winner. First one to the finish line wins. But yeah, if it is that situation where there's 3 people running for the finish line, it's however you want to deal with it. Maybe there's a specific trap we could, like a smoke bomb or something that we can make for this type of situation, like a blue shell item. Like if you have it and it's literally just for the end of the race for you to win. If you choose to hold on to the item, it's going to be useful for you. It could even not be useful if you just trigger it wrong or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, for each stage of the game, if you die in that stage, you have a chance to fight in the gulag. And then for a timer, you get to start at the next stage. but that pool gets smaller and smaller where like you get it's like a buy system where if you get killed off super early in the match, you know how like if you drop in a battle royale and then you couldn't get a gun, then you die immediately, you get that gulag chance and then you get to go back again. Like it rewards for dying too quick. You know what I mean? Because you're unprepared
Yeah.
type of thing. And I think, yeah, you could add diversity and also make sure that there's still competition near the end if everyone just dies off in the original obstacle course stage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I think that that's a pretty good base. Let's just talk about like art style. I see it looking kind of like Fortnite, where it's a little bit more
Okay.
cartoony.
More animated, more saturated, brighter colors.
Exactly. And I do see it kind of being like, I see it as third person. I don't know what you were imagining.
Yeah, I saw it as third person as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, third person will work.
And obviously, like, we'll have different cosmetics kind of like in Fortnite where you'll always have the grappling hook and we can make it look flashy and then you could obviously change however it looks using cosmetics.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could change I don't want it to be like Fortnite where you're changing no. Yeah, let's do it like that where it's just complete skin swaps of your characters. So you could just first we'll have unlocks for each map. We'll like, let's say for each drop, new season, new map, right? It's the new desert map. We'll give you the free pass, which you could just play for free. And that'll be like the basic desert character. And he has like the thing wrapped around his head.
Yeah, so you get like one free themed skin,
Yeah.
and then
Or-
you have to play to unlock the
like
others.
5 free skins, and they're like all diversely cast and stuff. You know, they're like different
Desert skin,
races, and
the cactus fighter.
maybe what it is, we'll have 5 characters that are just mainstay characters. Like they're the characters of this game, right?
Oh yeah, so they'll have different skins for each pack.
Exactly.
map.
And like it's that character, but then they'll have like a different outfit. They don't have any unique skills or anything. It's just they'll have a voice, like they'll have voice lines and stuff. And then you could like choose to spawn as your favorite character. It's just cosmetic, right? And then you could
Okay.
unlock voice lines for that character. You could unlock like specific skins for that character and stuff. And it's literally just for show. And it's just 5, maybe 6 characters, and maybe we could add them as we go if like the fans were like, oh, we really want this kind of race, sex, and this, make a character around that, and then we're like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever, that type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just and then all that is definitely cosmetic, and then there will be the free battle pass, which is like the stuff you unlock just by playing, and then the paid one, obviously. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Have
Sorry?
more skins. Oh no, okay. If we're getting ahead of ourselves, where do you want to be? Because we'll talk about it
Right.
later.
Let's just talk about the music we're hearing. I think basic epic kind of like adventure music, like Indiana
Adventure
Jones and
themed music with maybe like a symphony or orchestral band where you're getting lots of highs and lows, and it's kind of steering the emotions as you're platforming.
But since it is
with maybe small sub themes depending like on unique chambers, like the mummy chamber,
right,
the music would slightly change.
And I do think that a lot of the times there isn't going to be too much music happening anyway, like general exploring, but during certain points, like when the game starts, there'll be like a theme that plays for that map, and then like in the middle of a timer countdown there could be a different music thing, and then when you enter the next stage there could be a theme for that next stage. You know what I mean? Like
yeah
each section will have its own theme music, and then there'll be different things that play during certain points, like time wise, or like maybe we could even do like a cool death animation thing, like kind of Hunger Games does it, where fireworks will blow up whenever someone dies, you know?
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, this person dies, and then it'll be like in the air, and then there'll be like a theme that plays.
Yeah, I could see that. Some kind of announcer or something like that.
And like maybe there's like, just to give this game like a little bit of character, maybe this is this is the ultimate ninja warrior TV show. And it's like there's like TV screens that show like random
you
characters.
can even put little floating cameras too.
And like have like random character. You can look up at any time and it'll just show a random person's gameplay from like a overhead view. Like it doesn't even it's just for flavor and just to make the world seem more alive. Because kind of another inspiration for this idea comes from that Nickelodeon show where like they would climb the Mayan temple and like
it's not Double Dare.
It's not Double Dare. It's a different
The
show.
Legend of Montezuma?
Something like that. I don't know what it is, but it's partially also inspired by that. Anyway.
I was thinking that.
That's good for music. Let's talk about what we have been trying to talk about is the pricing. Free to play, Battle Pass, what?
$20?
$20, maybe $15.
$15, and you get to unlock more skins, more different titles, better grappling hook skins,
exactly.
Maybe grappling hook sound effects. Maybe if you catch onto a rock, it'll spark, or you can shoot it, or we can make the chain different for different things.
Yeah. Like maybe the grappling hook isn't just a skin; it's like different pieces you could customize for the grappling hook.
Yeah.
Whereas the skin is just the skin for your character. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I like that. And then there's like voice lines you could unlock. Maybe we could unlock like
announcers, different
poses.
Announcer voices.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, so different announcer voice packs.
I like it. All right, Alex. Time to start your timer because it's time to name this game.
All right, and go. Nothing, huh?
Yeah, nothing.
My brain can't get out The Amazing Race.
Treasure Race just sounds stupid. Like the worst mobile game that you could find is Treasure Race.
Dude, Treasure Hunter. How about that?
Treasure Hunter?
It makes sense.
Yeah, Treasure Hunter.
Yeah, because you're...
Let's do it.
Perfect. Treasure Hunter at 25 seconds.
All right, Alex. Give us a little overview of Treasure Hunter.
Welcome to Treasure Hunter, the game show where you are in a battle royale in an obstacle course. Different weapons are dropped, and there are different challenge rooms where you can unlock unique and different characteristic weapons. The more you kill, the better you are at running and doing the platforming. The better you are at the platforming, the easier it is to kill. You must go through all 3 phases in order to get to the end of the game. Treasure Hunter.
All right. So I think we have your game here, Alex. What do you think? Would this be a game you want to play? And is it fun?
Yeah, I think this would be a game that I'd want to play. I can't really rely on my FPS skills too much. So if you give me something else to go on, like platforming, so they can level off the field, I am into that. How about you, Jay? Would you like this game?
Yeah, no, I would definitely love to play this game. The more that we talked about it and the more we fleshed it out, I was like, oh man, yeah, I definitely like the direction we're taking it. I don't know if you remember playing this game with me way back when we first reconnected at a PSX way back when, but we played a game called Strange Brigade.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about that game. Remember, we got the high score for the one of the days.
And I have a coin somewhere around here.
So do I. Yeah.
But that game was so much fun. I'm just so sad that it came out during a busy gaming period and I just didn't have time and no friends to play it with, really. And this game kind of reminds me of that. You know what I mean? Where it's like that.
Yeah, a little bit.
That feel
less
to
first-person shooty, but yeah, how it's different adventures caught in different scenarios.
Yeah,
for sure.
And that being said, what game developer would you give Treasure Hunter to make this game the best?
Now, it's funny you say that because I was going to go with Ryuga Gotoku Studio.
You mean the Judgment
which is
guys?
No, well, they may have done that, but they also developed Super Monkey Ball.
Whoa. Okay.
And I was thinking for the mazes and the setups for the way the different platforming sections would be, it would be interesting if it was a Super Monkey Ball approach where instead of you falling off the edge, people could blow you up.
Yeah.
And kill you.
No, I getcha.
What were you thinking?
Well, I mean, we were just talking about Strange Brigade, so I think Rebellion Developments that made Strange Brigade could also do something really cool with this. Another development studio I was thinking about are the people that were behind. I have to look it up. I think it's Turtle something. What was that game called? It was an asymmetric multiplayer game, like one of the first ones to come out, and it didn't do so hot. I think they were the Left 4 Dead developers, which is just, I mean,
Turtle Studios. Are you talking
Turtle
about
Rock.
the ones?
Yeah, Turtle Rock Studios. They did the game Evolve, if you remember Evolve.
I do remember Evolve.
And they also did Left 4 Dead, which I think would be, they can, with Evolve, they can make huge open environments that are also based on paths, like site paths. You know what I mean? There's like linearity to these open world environments, and I think that's what we need to make these obstacle courses and these climbing sections not feel climby and not feel like just a platformy puzzle, where it also feels like you're exploring this jungle or this desert environment or this forest environment. You know what I mean? Like the map development has to be there to feel open. Also, that everything in the world is trying to kill you, because Evolve, there was PvE elements where like the environment was also trying to kill you. And just combinations of that, you know, and just put it in the game.
Like that. I don't have another developer because it's really hard for me to think of someone else that could make it happen.
Well, with that, 115th IP has gone gold. We hope you look forward to this experience that will probably never release. You can write to @poundgames@gmail.com if you have anything to patch with the game we created today. Also, give us feedback. We're still learning how to make this show better, and your feedback really helps. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to back our ideas, please head over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which caught the tail end of our conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. If you liked our show, why not subscribe and give us all the stars on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if they ask for a review instead of reviewing our show, become your inner game critic and review Treasure Hunter, the video game we just created. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name is Jay Yee.
And I'm Alex Gonzalez.
Thank you. And please remember that we are not game devs. What was that beep?
Oh, it was something my laptop made, but the listeners won't hear it.
Oh, would they not?
No.
Well, we'll find out.
You hear all the noises. I can mute some of the noises for them.
Well, we'll see in post if that's true.
You can look for a beep. It won't be there.
We'll see about that.